Welcome, Yanni. Welcome, Glenn. Welcome, listeners, to Xbox Players SA Unplugged, that we decided is aptly named.
Boom, I love it. Hey, good to be here, man.
Fantastic, thanks, guys. Yanni, this is what we are now calling Xbox Players SA Unplugged, which is essentially a podcast that we decided, if we can do it on a regular basis for our viewers. Maybe every second week, just to, take down all the news articles that is unbiased and just bring out a full perspective towards our members. It's been a long time coming.
It's been a massive long time coming. It's so exciting for me that we're doing this, and yeah, I think you hit the nail spot on. Right? We want to talk gaming, we want to share passion, and we want to give you straight up insights, views, and what's happening around the Xbox gaming world. So I am stoked, yo.
Yeah, and then behind the scenes, we've been speaking about doing something like this for what feels like ages, and I think that we'll all be relieved that we're finally getting to a point we can actually all sit down together and actually record whatever we can just to put something on the plate.
Spot on, Ranman. And I also think the biggest challenge is to not, besides being time and availability of us after hours, obviously running normal day-to-day 9 to 5 jobs, but just making the time which doesn't eat into gaming time, but allow us the opportunity to sit down like this at a round table, Xbox Players SA Unplugged, as we are calling this, just to talk more about gaming, extension of our lives, our passion, our hobbies, and share it with the community, and we'd like to hear from the community as well. So I think thank you for running with the project, for Yanni for always pestering and saying, guys, when's it happening? And here we are, it is happening.
Yeah, I think we're finally here. So just to give the listeners a breakdown on, the format, every week or every second week, we're going to pick a couple of topics that stood out to us that we felt like is worth, having a discussion about. Then we'll have the regular segments of, what's coming to Xbox, what's coming to Game Pass, what's leaving Game Pass. And then, of course, I would like to pick your guys' minds on what you are playing, what do you enjoy about whatever you are playing at the moment. Then, lastly, we also have features, which was Glenn's idea to bring in, which I thought was going to be quite fun. It's features that the listeners can play with us called Name That Game, which is basically where I'm going to play a theme song of a game, and the listeners can basically just see if they know from what game that theme song comes from. And the other feature is going to be Whose Line Is It Anyway, which was also Glenn's idea, where we play a famous quote or famous line from a game and see if the gamers can guess what it is.
Yeah, I think that the features, what we're looking for is testing our community's knowledge. We're all gamers by heart, but from different genres, different decades, different favorite titles. But you're going to get that one guy out there that knows a lot of general knowledge, and someone else is going to learn and maybe hear the line, hear the audio, and go pick up and play the game maybe.
I agree. So first up on the topic is something I know Glenn is very excited about is GTA Online, the Enhanced Edition. That was released this week, I believe. Oh, it's being released on the 15th. My apologies. It's being released on the 15th. Glenn, can you talk us through that?
After it was announced, it got pushed back. It would have been end of last year, November. We would have had the expanded and enhanced edition for GTA Online and GTA 5. That got pushed back to March. So yeah, we're getting it now the 15th, which is now next week. I'm very excited for it. Yes, Los Santos getting 4K, 60 frames per second. You can grief other players on your oppressor in high quality and record those gaming clips. But not just that, there's enhancements coming to the game, vehicle, different handling types. There's going to be a new NPC in the game that's going to allow you to tune your vehicle. It's going to have different attributes. So there's quite a few things coming, not just the upgrade to the new gen console or the new gen consoles, but I also think GTA 5 has been long in the tooth, and there's so many players and gamers out there calling for GTA 6, and we all know GTA Online is where it has been, and obviously it was sold and bundled together with GTA 5. But that's becoming a standalone version from the 15th, where you can now purchase GTA Online as a standalone.
Yanni, I don't know. I haven't really seen you play a lot of GTA. Well, I don't know if you played it when it came out back in 2013. But do you have any insight on the enhanced edition for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X?
Gentlemen, I'm on the pessimism side on this, right? I played GTA 5, the story, the campaign, which I love, on the 360, on the Xbox One. I even loaded it up on the Series X just to see what's what and actually just look at the loading times. And I haven't been that involved in GTA Online. But I'm a little bit on the pessimism side that Rockstar didn't take this opportunity to push out uh, free content, at least the upgrade itself. I think if there were some other features, maybe you could unlock that some different way. But I would have liked to see them take that step after the absolute abysmal job that they did with the GTA trilogy, the remastered trilogy. And we saw the same thing with Control, right? I love Control so much. But the next generation had this little extra kick, so I had to kind of buy the game again. I think the price could be really dropped quite a lot. Make no mistake, I know that they have a special, a launch special for GTA. I think, Glenn, you can correct me, but it's on 50%, which is fantastic. But I'm on the other side of this. I love GTA's campaign so much, and I'd love to play it now with 4K resolution, 60 frames, and all the enhancements that the game is getting. But I'm on the fence. I'm not at the point where I'm ready to pull that trigger.
From my side, I'm gonna have to say I am excited for the enhanced edition. Every game that does have a Series S or X, you know, uh, edition, it comes out and it's it plays better, it's smoother, you can feel the different experience. But I'm gonna be with Yanni is that Rockstar needs to prove that it's worth the $170 that I paid for it now. For the I don't know how many times I've bought GTA 5 now. Um, and I think us as Xbox gamers have been spoiled with having the upgrade for free. I think with not all developers being on board with that, I think we have to bear in mind that they are still a company. They do still need to show overhead at some form, some point in the launch cycle. But I also feel like GTA 5 has been milked to the point where they can just start giving it out for free now.
Yeah, that cow was dry, but
Apparently not yet. We'll see. I do have high hopes for GTA 5 yet. I think everybody that are diehard GTA 5 online players are excited for this. It is going to bring a couple of new story features, and it's going to just breathe a little bit of life into the game again. And then we've been playing GTA online for years together now. I think this is going to be one of those things where we can all get everybody back, the whole crew back together again, and just go explore what it's all about.
Spot on, Ram. And I think we're going on 4 years already that we've been playing in Los Santos and Blaine County and all those areas together. In the Xbox Players SA crew, which is over 200 members strong already. So players come, players go. And I think the big push towards end of last year, we saw players or gamers pushing to get the new gen consoles, the Series S or Series X, to get the enhanced edition when it was going to release. Obviously, it got pushed back and gave gamers a breathing room after December into Jan. Yeah, I've seen a couple of players specifically getting brand new consoles just for the expanded and enhanced edition that are GTA fanatics. Yeah, there's definitely a big crowd exciting for it. There's that crowd that's saying, please, we've had enough. We want to see something else coming out of Rockstar stable.
And I think for all the gamers that do want to join the Xbox Players SA crew on GTA, we'll leave a link in the description as well for that. Next up, gentlemen, something that I don't think we are too surprised about. Call of Duty 2023 is going to be delayed. It's reportedly only going to be coming out in 2024. Now, I think we all know that, this could have something to do with the whole Microsoft acquiring Activision and, just trying to break that cycle of an annual release, which is starting to feel like, they're going from good to bad to worse. I think that extra year is going to, help with the quality of the game. We have seen this in games before, namely Assassin's Creed. Captain Kirk, I don't know how you feel about that.
You that hammer on the nail there, comparing it to Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed taking that break did wonders for the game. Unfortunately, after that break, they had a new platform with with some new mechanics and approaches and features, which they then resulted in Origin, Odyssey, and Valhalla. But there was decent amount of time, space for them to create and craft wonderful worlds and great games. It is absolutely the right approach for me that COD is going this route to just put the brakes up a little bit. The money made us too excited. Let's make sure we understand what it is that the gamers want and stop pushing this narrative that the big corporates I think have. I mean, even I love that meme that's out right now. Uh, players only want uh, players don't want single player games anymore, and then Battlefield's got like 900 players and Elden Ring a million, right? So I think that it's a great
Yeah.
time to reassess where we're coming from and execute a new game. I'm happy with this call.
Glenn, do you think this move by Activision has something to do with the acquisition Microsoft is, in the works with?
Uh, it's tough to say if it is directly related to the buyout of Activision. Since Treyarch is working on the next Call of Duty, and I think we get tired of those annual releases. There's not much difference in the previous iteration of the game. It all still feels like the same game reskinned. I think we can see a lot of it with the genre, the sports genre, namely your FIFA titles, your NBAs, the NHLs. With Call of Duty, it's been a new game every year. Battle Royale now has stayed there for I think 2 years that it's been around. I just think it's not so much Microsoft's influence. I think Activision wants to get their things right, and delaying it just allows the developers, Treyarch, to polish their game for the gamers, for us end users, to appreciate it more. Being rushed, we saw what happened with Cyberpunk, unfortunately. All this hype, and then the game launched, and it was broken for many, many players on the older gen consoles. I know the PlayStation community got hit very hard by it. So I think it's a good thing. I would like to see more of the bigger publishers and developers doing a biannual release versus this every annual year where it's the same game reskinned.
And just going a little bit off topic, sticking with Activision, is, the rumors of which games are going to become exclusive and which is not. Um, I know, Glenn, you've been with me on this boat as well when we talk about, getting cross-platform plays open. It's a win for gamers. I don't think COD going, Xbox exclusive or Xbox and PC exclusive is going to be a priority, thinking of how hard Microsoft is fighting to get, cross-platform, to the gamers.
Yeah, and something I definitely know, or I can like to believe, that Phil Spencer will not want to do exclusivity for Xbox. There's a massive market on PlayStation and PC for Call of Duty, and even the world champs or the COD champs is all played on PlayStation consoles. So I don't see it coming in-house to be a first-party exclusive. So I think for those gamers out there that's worried about Call of Duty becoming just an Xbox property, no, I don't see it happening. Multiplayer and cross-platform, definitely. I do see that continuing, but it won't just become an exclusive title.
Captain Kirk, looking at, all the titles that they are getting along with the acquisition, it is too early to speculate which games are going to become exclusive and which is not. I think getting closer to the actual, date of the acquisition, we'll get a better idea of what Microsoft is planning with, Activation Blizzard.
Absolutely. I'm fully with Glenn on that. Spencer's vision is not hardware sales. At least that is what it looks to me that the Xbox strategy is all about. Combining cloud gaming, allowing you to play the exact same game via your mobile phone, with not a lot where you're losing in terms of quality, right? So if a game is ported to a mobile phone, That's a very different thing. Being able to stream from the cloud, from an actual running Xbox, that's a big thing. So, and very soon, you're going to be able to do that through your TV if you can't do that already, and you don't need that console. So, Spencer's strategy is going to try and be to get Game Pass in everywhere as well as he can, and to make sure that cross-platform gaming is still available, because all those sales from those massive markets that Glenn mentioned is just too big. As we're going to have to expect certain games to definitely become exclusive titles. I think we have to expect that, and it's going to be strategically chosen games from that Activision Blizzard staple. What I just want to see more is I want to know what's the plan for Xbox in terms of RTS games, right? Real time strategies. There's quite a few amazing titles on the Activision Blizzard end, and I'd like to be able to make use of the keyboard and mouse functionality on the Xbox with these games coming out and launching, like Age of Empires, for example, being available on the Xbox straight away. Those are already exclusives at the moment. But yeah, you're right. Closer to the time, we'll know more. But I do think we can expect a few titles to raise some eyebrows. But things like COD, they'll stay cross-platform.
Yeah, Yanni touched on a very relevant point there. Talking of the PC side of things, just take a look at Counter-Strike. It's a title that's been around for years and years. I think they've had one major update to CSGO. And all the competitive scene, all the esports and tournaments has all been played on the same game for years and years and years. You look at Call of Duty, and each year the players have got to learn a new game, new maps, new strats, all those kind of things too. I think we've got to get to that point where there's one kind of competitive Call of Duty out there that the players can play for a couple of years, as opposed to learning in the years or months to come once the acquisition goes through. And then the last point on this is, I don't think many of the titles will come exclusive, but what you will start seeing from Treyarch and the different publishers or developers is going to be new first-party games coming out, and that's where you'll see the magic happening.
Totally, man.
Yeah, no, I agree. So yeah, I think there's a lot of things for gamers to be excited about. And speaking about games that gamers can get excited about, there's rumors, and let's just make this clear that we don't always want to report on rumors per se. I think it's still worth just discussing what the excitement is about. But Fallout New Vegas 2 is rumored to be in the works. I think most people, Captain Kirk, is excited because, finally Fallout and Obsidian is falling under the same umbrella again. And with New Vegas, Fallout New Vegas having been developed by Obsidian, and till today being regarded as the best Fallout in the series. I think that gamers are hopeful that some collaboration will take place.
We're absolutely very much looking forward to that. So Fallout New Vegas was something that no one saw coming, and I think that's what helped. I think that's what helped it so much, and I'm looking forward to another collaboration to get that done. Another entry into the series is a very exciting prospect. I don't mind rumors that much. In the sense of being able to get excited about something. It's just so important to always just go, this is a rumor. Do not run away with this idea and thinking that, all this stuff is happening, so much is going to change. But I like getting caught up, just sharing that passion or excitement for something as unique as another Fallout.
Yeah, Glenn, I think what's also worth being excited about is would be the first game out of the Bethesda umbrella under Microsoft. I think everybody wondering what is happening with all the acquisition studios under Microsoft. This would be a benchmark to work from.
And it is an exciting time, and I think for us as gamers and us in the digital age now, I'm not one to share rumors or repost rumors. I try and keep rumors off my page or for Xbox Players SA as much as I can, because I try and give real actual news that we know is happening. But when there's, I call them industry insiders, people that's working closely to developers and publishers, and they getting excited and talking New Vegas 2 and all these things that are happening. The insiders are kind of like what we call the FBI team, and their nose is so close to the ground, but then you just always worried about being clickbait. How much truth is behind the rumor, and it's a matter of a waiting game to see when a big publisher, an IGN or one of these big articles of media pick it up and then run with it. So for now, it's all exciting and like everyone just jumps in that frenzy. But I don't know. I'll take it very cautiously day by day until we get official word from the developers or the publishers.
Then some things that we are all, I think, except Yanni, can get into is Elden Ring. What a great success that game was, Yanni. I think I'm surprised. I've been playing Elden Ring since launch, and I'm surprised at how well it was
Yeah,
received.
look, I think what really showed how incredible Elden Ring is was when we saw developers from really big games going out onto the Twitterverse or the social media verse and saying, that the game isn't really graphically that impressive, and that the UI. And I looked at that and I started laughing and I'm going, well, I think that's exactly what makes a great game is the UI might not be the best. And there isn't a lot of hand holding. You have to figure this out as you go along. Um, at the end of the day, the mechanics, the bosses, the actual gameplay is the thing that gives Elden Ring this absolute incredible perch. And if you look at the surroundings and what I've seen you guys post and what I've seen on the internet as I'm trying to just finish Cyberpunk so I can start Elden Ring with Guardians of the Galaxy now also available. Let me not go down that rabbit hole. So, anyways, what we're seeing is that these guys created a massive, incredible game. And when I hear you guys talk about it, it's just another confirmation. And well done to them. What an incredible journey they're on.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, Glenn, we didn't really have Elden Ring on our radar for games that we thought we'd play together. I think it was on the Thursday before release, and we then that's when we read up that it's going to be 3-player co-op, and we were like, we have to get this. And you were the first one to pre-order, I believe.
It's quite uncanny, Ranman, that we knew of the game coming. I know the Dark Souls players and fan base was overly hyped. If you just go look at Reddit and the subreddits, there was so much hype around this game, obviously in the different pockets and different segments of the communities. For us as gamers that play together and look for games we can have multiplayer with, what had happened is on the Thursday, I shared an overview video of what you can expect. And in there, they touched on the 3-player co-op. And this is like, oh, interesting. And you spoke about it almost at the same time. And it's like, okay, well, we're going to do this. So we're jumping in Thursday night. And we did. And I'm very, very happy and thankful that I did, because it's right up there in one of my top 3 all-time favorite games ever played. And that's 4 decades of gaming, guys. It is really, really top-notch. From Software have delivered a gem to, yes, the Dark Souls fan base and community, but to those millions of players that aren't familiar with the Dark Souls world and the challenges and the puzzles and the repetitive dying. And welcome to Elden Ring. It is really a masterclass, and it's game of the year for me already, and we want only in March.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, since we started 2 weeks ago, it's been 2 weeks now. I haven't played any other game. I think it's just one of those games where you get involved in the world. You feel like you're part of the lore going on. And then what blew my mind is that you are presented with a huge, massive map, and then it just keeps getting better. And then you think that's it, and it just keeps getting bigger. And then you think that's it, and the map just turns out to be massive. And it's not a situation where go from outpost to outpost, climb this tower to unlock this map or whatever the case may be. It's just a rich world where everything is just, it falls into place, and you are part of that world. I don't know. I can't recommend this game, hard enough to anybody, and to everybody that knows me as someone that don't really like RPG games. But this is, it rivals games like Witcher 3 for me. It's that good.
Spot on, Randman. It's a game that
No, but
got me
seriously, it's
hooked
that
through and
good.
through, and there's an addictive element to it, and it's not so much. I don't know how to explain it to the listeners now, but it's really, you want to see what's going to happen next, or what's around the next corner, or under the next bridge. It's almost of that story just continuing, the journey continuing, and then you do get the cutscenes, and all of a sudden you're caught in a snare or a trap, or you ambushed. There's really, you're living the world. You're just taking all the beauty in, and it's amazingly well done. And I think to the team from Software, they've really, I haven't had one crash, one bug, one instance of gameplay mechanic not working. It's polished to the T. It's really up there. It's such a really highly rated game in my book.
Gentlemen, an observation I've made, no, not just me, because I've heard this reiterated. The difficulty of the game is one of the success stories of this game. Because one friend playing the game can't stop telling people that he's been dying 18 times in a row. And then the other guy goes like, no, it can't be that bad. And then they get into the game and they try and get to that boss, and then they get sucked in so quickly that you have this incredible high concurrent player base just measured on Steam, and we don't have the results really from across the board. That people are just so hooked, and I think a big part of a success is its difficulty, or that specific mechanic, almost a roguelike mechanic that the game has, just forces people's curiosities.
Yanni, I know we could have a separate podcast um, just on your point there. I read an article from Games Radar in early this week. Obviously, over 1 million players. Half of those players haven't even beaten or defeated the first boss yet. It is
Yes.
crazy to think it is that difficulty element of learning the pattern, understanding the boss, what's his weakness. And that, as a gamer, is a challenge. You want to get past that boss. You want to defeat him, and you want to go back and smash him again and again.
Yeah.
For my own experience, I've loved the challenges. I've loved the difficulty. I'm playing as a mage, as a sorceress. I'm using a lot of ranged attacks. So it's different to Neft or Ranman or Spiral's gameplay, where they're all close quarters, melee, and in your face kind of action. And my experience and my journey has been different to theirs, because I've had easier challenges, or they've had much more difficult challenges. I did spend one of the bosses, I won't even share which one it was, 11 hours trying to get past one boss over the weekend. 11 hours, and I did it, and I smiled.
Yeah, that's an amazing feeling.
And I have to tell anybody that's still afraid to get the game because of the difficulty factor. Um, don't expect it to be easy. It's not easy at all by any stretch of the word. But it's not so difficult that you're gonna hit the wall and you can't progress. It's gonna be a situation where you hit a wall, you can't defeat this boss. You can still explore the world further, level up, come back with a different strategy, and then beat the boss as easily as you thought it would be the first time. And if there is a situation where you just cannot get to the boss, speaking of which, Glenn, I'm going to need you for the fire giant. If you get to that point of you're not able to beat the boss, you can get multiplayer help to assist you in the fight. So it's a very it's challenging, but it's approachable for any gamer,
And
even
for
if
me,
you're a
that's the
casual gamer.
mechanic that they got right. Yes, it's solo. You're playing single. You and your torrent. You're running through the wilderness. But when you do get stumped, or you are stuck, and you've called in all your NPCs and your AI assistants and allies, but you can call in 2 other players to come and assist you. And I think that's the beauty. We're about 6 players in our circle of gamers playing Elden Ring together at the moment. We're all on our own journey, own direction, and then yet we come across a boss that we need assistance with, like you said now. And quick, we get summoned, we go jump over 10, 15, maybe half an hour, And then we go and try and see if we can assist with the boss, and then we go on again onto our own single journeys. It is really amazing.
On to what's coming out on Game Pass in March. I think this podcast falls wham in the middle of March, just about. So it gives you an overview of what we can expect during the month of March. We've got on the 1st of March we had Far Changing Tides. They came out. Not a game I'm familiar with, but I have to say I have heard of it before. I don't know if you guys know anything about it.
I'm not clued up on that, Glenn. I hope you are. Otherwise, this is a very short round.
Yeah, short round. Just little truth bubble here. I'm most probably the worst Game Pass player or owner there is. There's so many titles that I've skipped, games that I've downloaded, just haven't gone back to play, and they get all at my fingertips. And Far is one of them I've heard of. I haven't even looked at a trailer yet. It wasn't for me like a day one when it comes to Game Pass on 1st of March that I had to pick it up. Or, it could be a gem. It might be a gem of a game that we're missing.
It might. Maybe we should have a segment of a Game Pass game we tried out this week. We've also got Final Fantasy Lightning Returns. Now, I'm not the biggest Final Fantasy fan, but the games that I did enjoy was the Lightning Saga. And I'm not sure if that is an Xbox One version or that's still the Xbox 360 backwards compatible version. But it's definitely worth a play. I think anything in the Lightning Saga is, worth giving a try. Then something that I know Kirk was excited for, Lawnmower Simulator. Now that has come out on Xbox Series S and X last month already, I believe. But now it's officially available for Xbox One. Kirk, you've put a couple of hours mowing the lawn?
I did. And over and over, I say, I cannot believe I played that game, man. But look, you get onto this lawnmower and you start cutting the grass, and especially if you're wearing your headphones, there's this soft hum of the lawnmower cutting the grass, and all of a sudden I just found myself zoning out completely as I'm going around and around and around the garden, cutting bloody grass. And I ended up just in the career mode trying to get to a place where I had the biggest garage and all of my slots are full of different lawnmowers, and I had a full team that was assisting me. And the moment I reached that, I stopped. But everything up to that point, I couldn't believe it, but it happened. And there's quite a few hours I sunk into that. So it's one of those things that don't judge it too harshly until you've tried it. And then after you've finished, you can, judge it as much as you want. Lawnmower sim, I couldn't believe it, but it kept me busy.
It's really crazy to think that there's more and more of these simulators coming out. We're seeing Mechanic Simulator, there's Goat Simulator. You talk about all these simulator games. And I think end of last year, I did an article specifically focused on simulated type of games. And it is that getaway or your breakaway from your general gaming habits. And it is therapeutic. It is that calming that you spoke of there, Yanni. It's amazing what these simulator games can do. Just allow you to tune out, zone out, and just enjoy what's in front of you for that hour, 2 hours while you're trimming the edges.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think they've missed a golden opportunity. So I know you built up your garage, the best lawnmowers you can have, but imagine having this like the Irish do on those lawnmower tractors, and you have that racing. That would have been the pinnacle of Lawnmower Simulator.
Absolutely, you're so right, Glenn. The moment you reach
Lawnmower Racing Simulator,
the game falls flat the moment you've reached that section, and there's actually so much room for them to expand after that. Your idea is great. I love it.
And then I think the biggest game on this list of the games coming to Game Pass is Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Unlike the Avengers, which was not as highly received as was expected, Guardians of the Galaxy was enjoyed by gamers that have bought it and have played it. Yanni, I know
yes,
you're
I am,
jumping into
and
this
I
game.
don't think I've heard a single gamer bash this. I think if you go and find really go and look on the social medias, you'll probably find it. But I have just been blown away by this game's reception. people's feedback about the game itself, the story, the characters, the mechanics, the how beautiful the world is. It is not the same thing that Avengers were, and focusing this game on the story narrative and taking people on a journey instead of having all this focus and bad media regarding microtransactions and live services as you hear a lot of YouTubers call it. They made a game and people played it and they loved it, and I'm next.
Yeah, it's going to be a title for me to play on Game Pass. I didn't purchase it originally when it did launch, but obviously it is something that's going to be available on cloud, console, and PC via Game Pass. Yeah, it is definitely one I will pick up and play.
Then two games that also coming out this month on the 10th of March we got Kentucky Route Zero, which once again might just be an indie game that I'm not familiar with. And then on the 10th also is going to be Young Souls. I think for future references, we'll just look into the games that we're not familiar with, just to give the gamers, some perspective and, have them decide if it's a game worth trying
Kentucky
out.
Route Zero is actually a internet subreddit phenomenon, and has quite there's some deep roots in Kentucky Route Zero in its difficulty of survival, and its inevitable, not hardcore but existing storyline. Kentucky Route Zero is something I cannot wait to get my hands on, because this was for the longest time a PC game, and I'm unless I'm mistaken, because I'm pretty sure this game came out like in 2013 or something, and I'm really excited to give this a try.
Then also the game is leaving Game Pass in March. One that I'm surprised about again. It's been on Game Pass for what feels like ages now. Is Near Autonoma. Autonoma. Why do I've always called it Autonoma. I don't know why. I'm checking it now and it's Automata. Unless I'm
Yeah,
just
that's a very
pronouncing it
famous
wrong.
game that I am so unfortunate and
Um,
unlucky that I didn't get sucked into it like everyone around me. And this game is so highly acclaimed, and I think it's got quite a few extra legs out of Game Pass. Sad to see it go, but I'm happy to see what's coming in its place.
Yeah, so it's leaving on the 15th of March. It's something I didn't play at all while it was on Game Pass, but I do know the series. I've played it many times on the older consoles. Yeah, I think with Game Pass, obviously, when it does come, the library keeps growing and it shrinks, and new games are arriving, older games are leaving. You've got to use that opportunity when it is on the library and available. I think same as your Netflix, how it operates and how it works. Make use of it when it's there. Otherwise, you snooze, you lose. It really is the bottom line.
yeah, on that list, I think it's the biggest game leaving Game Pass from the 15th of March. We also have Pogs, Torchlight 3, and The Surge 2 leaving Game Pass. But I think it's not something to be deterred about. I think, they are on Game Pass for, extended period of time. So if you haven't had the time to play it, you can still buy it at a discount while it's still on there. And I think Game Pass itself should be used as test the game out. If it's not something you're looking for now, if you see it's going off of Game Pass, and you still wanted to finish it, you have the opportunity to buy it at a discounted price. So next up is the fun part of the podcast. It's going to be name that game and whose line is it anyway. Okay, so the first is going to be whose line is it anyway, guys. And I'm going to play a short clip.
The assassin has overcome my final defense, and now he's come to murder me. In the end, what separates a man from a slave? Money? Power? No. A man chooses. A slave obeys.
Oh, uh, uh,
You guys were able to hear that?
yeah,
I take it, Yanni, you know where that's from. Glenn, you have any idea?
And I'm going to leave it up to the listeners to let them contact us and give their guesses, and then we can reveal it in the next show. The name of whose line is that anyway? Well done. I think, wow, what a doozy to start the feature off with.
Yeah, I think that was one of the more popular ones to start off with. But yeah, it's one of those games where, unless you played it.
The blades are wise not to trust me. Only Khan Niov. I would not trust another Dova. Dov Walan Farel. We were made to dominate. The will to power is in our blood. You feel it in yourself, do you not? I can be trusted. I know this, but they do not. Only Khan Niov Dova. It is always wise to mistrust a Dova. I have overcome my nature only through meditation and long study of the way of the voice.
That one might be a little bit more difficult, guys.
When they said the name, I was like, ooh, that was wow. That was, it almost took me, but no, I'm not 100% sure about that one.
I'm with Yanni. When it started, I thought I knew exactly which game this is from. And then the longer the clip played, the more I started to doubt my initial guess.
Great clip.
Fantastic. That means I didn't waste my time. On to number 3. Here we go.
Rise and shine, Mr. Freeman. Rise and shine. Not that I wish to imply you have been sleeping on the job. No one is more deserving of a rest, and all the effort in the world would have gone to waste until... well, let's just say your hour has come again. The right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world. So wake up, Mr. Freeman. Wake up and smell the ashes.
That one should be easy.
I think 3 seconds of that clip. Wow. Now I'm about to send someone a very angry letter. I want the next one.
Ranman, I think you've missed your calling as a game show host. These are spot on for our listeners to get. It's got my ears pricked up, and obviously number 1 and number 3 I can relate to. Number 2 still got me a little bit boggled. Well done. This is really, really great, and I'd like to see how this feature gets expanded and maybe offer some prizes for our listeners for the first 3 or whatever people that do contact us with the correct answers.
Yeah, I'm sure we can hook up some prizes. It's far from over, guys. I have 5 whose line is it anyway, so let's see if you guys can make it a positive.
Those who share my purpose become allies. Those who do not become casualties.
Nothing in our fight against the Reapers has been that cut and dried.
Because you still have hope that this war will end with your honor intact.
I do.
Stand in the ashes of 1 trillion dead souls and ask the ghosts if honor matters. This silence is your answer.
I just love that Jamaican accent.
That one is quite popular to Xbox gamers.
That's very much up my alley. I'm going to play that game again tonight. Screw everything else.
The Jamaican accent is really a winner.
All right, on to number 4. Well, number 5, sorry.
The throne was mine.
Wanting something does not make it your right.
What do you know?
That a true leader empowers the people he rules.
I will lead mankind into a new world.
Che nessuno ricordi il tuo nome. Requiescat in pace.
You cannot kill me. No man can murder me!
Then I leave you in the hands of fate.
Dun, dun, dun.
Any ideas on that one?
Yes, my brother. when he hears this, he's going to have to go take a cold shower. Excellent.
Yeah, I think I'm a positive 4 out of 5 here, Randman. I think.
That's good to know. I'll pick your guys' brain after the podcast, and we'll see if you guys got it right. Now it's time for Name That Game. This was one of the funnest ones that I've been able to get clips from.
Yes, I want to say I know that, but
Any ideas,
yeah,
gentlemen?
I want to say I know it, but I'm all of a sudden not sure.
Yeah, that one is like almost a dead giveaway, but a bit of doubt.
I'm out of my depth here.
Glenn, I think I made that one
Yeah,
way too easy for you.
I can even name which battle pass this comes from. Yeah, no, I've played this game way too many hours. Yeah, great game. And a free game, guys. It's a free game. A little bit of a hint.
Okay. All right. I'm sure I got some here that might be difficult, guys.
Boom. Yeah.
There's just something about that orchestra that is so emotional, guys.
This one I've put on here because when I first heard it, it's got that familiar tune that you know where it's from. And then when I actually looked at it, it's not what I thought it was. And I felt stupid after realizing where it's actually from. But yeah, this one stumped me a little bit when I first heard it as well. I would like to see, because it sounds like two games that I know, and I guessed the wrong one first, and the second one was what it actually was. So let's see. I'm sure I have to have something more difficult for you guys. I'm sure I spent a lot of hours on this. Let's see.
What day is today? Is it Monday, guys? No, it's Thursday.
Okay, so it seems like I don't have difficult ones on here. It might be Monday.
You know what the beauty of,
I'm sure
what
you
the
know.
beauty of these audio clips is. For us that's played the games over and over, we are so indoctrined with the theme music or the intro music. Someone who hasn't played this game is going to be totally stumped, like, no idea. Brilliant. Yeah.
That might be true, yes. All right, and then the last. One.
That's super iconic, right?
Okay, I'm gonna have to stop it there before I play all 2 minutes of it.
Yeah.
If you weren't going to stop it there, Herman, we would have been stuck on your 1 hour loop that you do have of that theme song. Yeah, well, that's iconic.
Loop. That's the loop I'm playing, yes.
That is extremely iconic.
I love that song. So yeah, gentlemen, that is the 2 features that I'm running. I'm sure we can hook up the gamers with some prizes. And then in the next podcast, we can announce the winners according to the comments.
That's awesome. That was fun, man.
Anything from your guys? Glenn, I know what the answer is. What are you guys playing at the moment? Glenn, you're playing Elden Ring. I know you can go on for another 2 hours speaking about it. Yanni, what's you playing on your side?
I'm still stuck on Cyberpunk. And as much as I want to go play the other games, namely Guardians of the Galaxy and Elden Ring, I'm unable to put the game down still. And you would have thought I would not have been enjoying the grinding and exploring the map as I did the first time around, but it hasn't stopped me. Yeah, I'm just in love with the game.
Yeah, they've really done well, and that's what the game should have launched with. It's really polished. It does draw you in. I know a couple of my mates that they haven't done anything else but play Cyberpunk since it's got the enhanced edition, or the upgrades and the patch. I don't blame you one second. And I was playing it. I was on my 4th playthrough, and then Elden Ring hit and dropped.
I'm lucky in that regard. This is my 2nd playthrough on Cyberpunk. You know, different character, different approach. But I'm living myself so much into the character. You know, I'm trying to think what this character would do, not necessarily based on my own moral and ethical values, but trying something new, something else, and it's all of a sudden like I'm playing the game again for the first time after a year's worth of break. You know, I'm so happy.
Brilliant. I've really knocked up the hours for the first 3 playthroughs as when the game launched. I think 80 hours per character or per playthrough, and now I've gone back with a 4th playthrough as a female, so obviously I can have some interactions with a specific NPC. So that's what I'm going to be doing once I do kind of put Elden Ring down for a little bit.
Yes, exactly right.
All right, Glenn, I'll start with you. A sign off from your side. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, I think more just feedback from the listeners. What they'd like to hear on a future podcast, any kind of new feature or thing they'd like us to talk about, something more focused locally, what's happening in our own Xbox space. Maybe we can get guests on the show. For me, I think really Ranman and CaptainKirk, I think a long time coming. It's really been I wouldn't say a grind to get here, but it has been a tough journey. I'm thankful we've got the opportunity to sit down an hour, just talk about games and what's happening in our lives in our gaming space.
Kirk, from your side?
Yes, I'm totally with Glenn there. I think it's so nice to join you gentlemen and talk about gaming, right? What's happening, what's not, and I hope someone else finds the same pleasure in that from our community, and we'd love to hear from them. I can't wait for the next one. Let's make a date.
Fantastic. And then from the listeners, just in the comments, give us some tips. What do you guys like about this? What do you guys want to see added? What's the appropriate time length for the podcast, to get, you guys to keep you guys interested. Other than that, I think from the Three Stooges, we're out.